Hello and welcome to another episode of Culinarian Quest. Today is N7 Day, or November 7th. If you don't know what N7 Day is, it is based off of a video game called Mass Effect, where the lead character, Commander Shepard, has the rank of Space Marine N7, which is basically the highest, more or less like a Navy SEAL type rank. And no, before you start actually wondering what I mean, it's not actually called a Space Marine. And while I won't go into the full details of the game itself, I am, or already have, putting up videos that you can watch of quick run-throughs of the trilogy. And I will be going into hopefully more in-depth gameplay at a later date. But you are not here for the gameplay channel, you are here for the food and drinks. And today I am doing 3 different recipes. 2 drinks, which are alcoholic, which you must be over 21 of age in the United States, or legal drinking age in whatever country you may be watching this in. So please keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And then 1 bar snack. All 3 recipes are from the Mass Effect, the official cocktail book. Now, when I first saw this, I actually thought it was a cookbook based off of Mass Effect, obviously. And then I reread the link that I had shared on Twitter, and it said cocktail book, and I was like, oh, I'm not a big cocktail drinker, but hey. And the 2 drinks I've had actually are very good, and there are actually a few bar type snacks in here, so that is really cool as well. Now, the book is quote-unquote divided between 2 different galaxies: the solar system, our galaxy, the Milky Way, the Milky Way galaxy, and the Andromeda galaxy. We are going to start with the Andromeda recipe, which is the Varen steak bites. And it's actually really good, really simple. I think probably the most complex part is the sauce. So it's broken into 2 different parts: the Varen steak bites and the Pyjak sauce. So for the steak bites themselves, you'll need 1.5 pounds of ribeye, New York strip, or tenderloin. And I think I just had a ribeye. I used 2 because I was hungry. 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/3 teaspoon of pepper, 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 4 or 5 cloves of garlic that will be minced, 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and flat leaf parsley chopped for garnish. Now, I don't necessarily know any other type of parsley besides flat leaf parsley, so but that's what the book said. So we're gonna start with the bites real quick, just because the Pyjak sauce takes a little bit more. But essentially, what you want to do is cut the steaks into bite-sized pieces and season them liberally with salt and pepper. Now you're going to set them aside at room temperature while we prepare the sauce. So that's the easy part. And I didn't necessarily use just 1 teaspoon of salt and 1/3 of pepper. I used a little bit more just because a little more flavoring and such, but use as much as you want. I'm gonna try different seasonings for this next time, actually, just because how well it turned out. But anyway, for the Pyjak sauce, you'll need 1/2 cup of flat leaf parsley packed, 1/2 cup of cilantro leaves packed. Now for me, I actually didn't have cilantro leaves, I had cilantro paste. I don't think it turned out any different. 1/4 cup of mint leaves, optional. I would highly recommend it because it does give it a nice little 1 small shallot, 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, 1 garlic clove, 1 teaspoon of honey, 1 teaspoon of lime juice, 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1/4 teaspoon of dried oregano, and 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil. Whew! So, essentially, you're going to put literally all of that in a food processor or a blender and pulse it until the herbs and shallot are minced but not completely liquefied. So you want it a little bit chunky, but not like chunky, you know? You want it smooth and not super fluid like, but I know for me, for the oil, that 1/2 cup seemed like a lot. And this portion, despite the fact that I think I used twice as much meat, actually worked out perfectly for what I needed, and there was actually still some left over. So even if you use 3 pounds of ribeye or whatever steak you want to use, you're probably going to have a lot of sauce left over. But you're going to place the sauce in a bowl and set it aside. I put it in the refrigerator just to keep it coolish, but you do not have to do that. So for the steak itself now that you've let it sit in whatever seasonings you would like, in this case obviously it was just salt and pepper, you're going to turn on your stovetop and place a cast iron pan on there. Now it says cast iron because cast iron is the best, but I'm sure you can use any pan you would like. Even if you have like a flat top griddle, that might work just as well. You're going to want to put the olive oil on there and let it warm up. It says to put it over high heat. I put mine on about medium high, only because my stovetop actually does get really hot for the section I put it on. I think this literally has the label quick broil on there, so it can get really hot, and actually it got pretty smoky. Whew, yeah. But once the oil is hot enough that when you put the steak on there, it sizzles right away, you're ready to go. The book says if it's not sizzling, you want to warm up a little bit more. But basically what you want to do is brown each single side. Let them cook for about 2 minutes before flipping the pieces over. And you want to get it just cooked enough to like medium rare, where it still has some pink in there. You don't want to overdo it, otherwise it is going to get really chewy and really leathery. Once you have your steak bits cooked and the way you like, put them aside. I put mine on a paper towel to get the oil off, and then in the same pan add your butter. Now, I did I didn't do unsalted butter. I actually used a herb infused Irish. I used the Irish brand, I forget off the top of my head, the Irish brand butter that had pre-mixed herbs in there, and I think that added a really good flavor to that. But put your butter in and melt it down. But you don't want to brown it. Once the butter is melted, add the minced garlic and red pepper flakes. Cook for about 30 seconds, stirring them frequently, just until the garlic becomes fragrant. And obviously don't burn the garlic and don't burn the butter. So if you do, pretty much have to start over again, and that's not very fun to do. Once your garlic butter is melted, pour over the steak bites and toss well. And you can garnish them with the parsley and put your hijack sauce on the side. And I used it for dipping, but the book says you can drizzle it on top, which, yeah, works. So, yeah, Bavarian steak bites. I highly recommend this. Next, we are going to jump over to our 2 drinks. And just as a reminder, once again, these are alcoholic beverages. You must be of legal drinking age in order to do these. Remember, legal drinking age. Anyway, if you know me and my gaming habits, or on my DeviantArt page, you kind of know I like Tally. Now, the race that she is, the Quarians, the race of Quarians are confined to suits, basically, their entire lives. From when they are basically teenagers or adolescents to adulthood, because on their home world, they had pretty weak immune systems as it was, and once they were exiled from the world, their immune systems get even weaker because of being in a sterile spaceship. So, essentially, they can get very sick very easily. Like I said, Tally is a Quarian, so she's in her suit the entire time. There's a joke in Mass Effect 3 where she gets drunk after one of the missions, and she's drinking, which I'm assuming the beverage we'll be working on here in just a minute, and she was using a straw in order to obviously drink the drink. And the joke is that a straw is called an emergency induction port. I gotta use that more often in the real world. But the drink itself is actually called emergency induction port. And it's actually said to drink it with a straw. It's a fun little drink. But basically, this one is very simple. 2.5 ounces of brandy, 1.5 ounces of purified water. I just used bottled water that was reverse osmosis. 1 ounce of lemon juice, 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. There's a recipe in the book, but I use pre-made stuff, and 2 to 3 drops of orange bitters. Now there is a very special piece of equipment that's involved in this. 1 emergency induction port. This recipe will serve 1 person at a time, so if you're just looking for a quick, easy drink to do, this is it. You will need ice, and you will need 1 rock glass. Fill a rock glass 2/3 full of ice. You're going to want a cocktail shaker for this as well. You're going to put ice in there, add your brandy, water, lemon juice, simple syrup, and bitters into the shaker. Close the shaker well. I think I messed that up one time. I won't do that again. And then you're going to shake for 10 to 15 seconds until well chilled. Trust me, you will know, because I think this is the 3rd time I've done this, and it does get extremely cold, extremely fast, and it's fun. I mean, it's not fun, but so once you're done shaking, you're gonna strain the beverage into the serving glass, and that's it. And then enjoy the drink through an emergency induction port. Our final recipe of the night is called the N7 shooter. The picture in the book does not match what I had. The glass is a tall shots glass, it looks like, and I'll try to remember to put a picture in here just so get some comparisons. But this is also a single served drink. This is to be drank in one go. I mean, basically it's a shot. But you're gonna need 1/2 ounce of grenadine, 3/4 ounce of coffee liqueur, and 1/2 ounce of Sriracha cream liqueur or white chocolate creme liqueur. The putting together of this recipe, actually, that was the most daunting part of it because I've never mixed drinks like this before. So basically, you're going to add the grenadine first to the shot glass. And then you're supposed to hold a small spoon in the glass just above the surface of the grenadine. Pour the coffee liqueur over the spoon so it settles on top of the grenadine. And I thought I was going to do this wrong. I thought this was going to be like a multiple step, like a multiple drink process, and I was going to be like plastered. But I got it on the first attempt, which I'm actually shocked and proud of myself. So yeah, it was cool. And then next, you're going to do this, basically to do the same thing for the Sriracha. It's you put the spoon just above it, the coffee liqueur layer, and then pour, I don't know why I'm having trouble saying this. And then you're going to pour the Sriracha cream liqueur over the spoon so it settles on top of the coffee liqueur. And like I said, I got this on the first try as well. I was pleasantly shocked at myself and proud, and I hope I don't have to do this on a rush. Here's the N7-day themed video. I encourage you guys to legally try this. If you can't legally do it, do the steak bites. But I also recommend getting the book if you enjoy your cocktails, and if you are of legal age, enjoy Mass Effect and want to try some of their cocktail recipes. I'm definitely going to be trying some of these later. Happy N7 Day, guys. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you later. See ya.